Hello everyone, welcome back to YK Reviews. Power Rangers Once a Ranger, Always a Ranger reunion special just aired last night on Netflix. So let's talk about it, let's get into it here. So before we get started with this, I just wanted to say a quick thank you to everyone that subscribed to the channel here. Reaching that 100 subscriber milestone may not seem like much, but honestly it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me that everybody that's clicking on the video, watching these videos, liking these videos and just subscribing to the channel just does mean a lot to me. So I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that is subscribed to the channel and that are commenting, that are liking on these videos, that are even just watching these videos. Thank you so much for that. And for those of you that aren't subscribed to the channel, if you like these types of in-depth spoiler reviews, if you like weekly entertainment news videos here, I do that every single week. So subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on that. But once again, thank you so much for everybody there. So with that out of the way, let's get straight into this. This is again a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the Netflix special, I'm going to say this right now, I highly recommend going and watching that, especially if you're a huge Power Rangers fan, if you grew up watching the Mighty Morphin era Power Rangers, if you've seen all the seasons from Mighty Morphin to like In Space too. This was such a love letter to those Power Ranger fans. I've made a shorts about it, link will be somewhere around here. Everything that they've done, they did right. There are a couple of nitpicks I have with the actual like reunion itself, but in terms of like what they did with this, I'm just such a huge fan of it. So I highly recommend watching it if you haven't seen it. But for those of you that have seen it, we'll discuss this. We'll go by shot of like what they did in the reunion special here. Starting off with like the little like title sequences, just explaining what happened if you haven't seen it. Like from 1993, Rita returning and then the Power Rangers being recruited and everything. And then the opening sequences, we have seen Billy in this present day as the Blue Ranger fighting Rita and the putties in this cliffside here. We see the parts of it in the trailer, but you just see Billy fighting the putties. He's asked for like reinforcements. The reinforcements have arrived with the green, the red, the yellow, the pink and the Black Ranger, all of them coming here. And we know that these are Jason, Tommy, Kimberly, Trini, Zach, but obviously you don't see them without the helmet, so you just see the colors of the Rangers there. So once again, the battle is ensuing. They're fighting these putties. They're fighting Rita. Rita then shoots a blast that will essentially kill Billy. However, Trini jumps in the way, essentially killing her. And for me, because of like the circumstances that happened with the actress, if you're not aware that she did pass away, unfortunately, in the very early 2000s here. And so killing her off like this, I thought was the best way to do that. And what they do throughout the reunion too, which we'll get into, I thought was a really nice touch. But the Yellow Ranger Trini does get killed off in this opening sequences here, and you see the shocked look of Billy and Zach as their expressions, the heartbreak in their face, seeing this come to fruition here. And so then in the next sequences here, you've got like Billy and Zach talking, discussing how they're going to tell Trini's daughter, who first of all, I thought she did a fantastic job in this role playing Trini's daughter. I think well handled. But I love the dialogue in this. Like, this was a more adult themed dialogue conversation, like Zach trying to honor Zordon's code, Billy just emphasizing the importance, mentioning how they've never had to deal with this kind of situation before, just going through this back and forth, and you see the serious tone, the serious look in Billy's face, which I just thought was fantastic. Like, David Yost and Walter Jones, I thought killed it in this reunion. Walter Jones especially just stepped up in his performances here, but the two of them just, I thought, were the big standouts, and they really elevated and just made this what it was when it comes to like the reunion special here. So a huge shout out to these two. They're still bickering, going back and forth. That's when like Min, Trini's daughter, overhears that Rita did kill her mother. And so then it's 1 year later, 12 months since the events that took place where Rita did kill, or Robo Rita did kill Trini here. So then we come to find out that Zach has now taken over as a guardian for Ming, Trini's daughter. They're on their way to the cemetery to like pay their respects, have the 1 year anniversary, only to run into the cemetery where you actually hear Jason, you hear Kimberly, you hear Tommy, most likely a recording from like earlier episodes that they've done. They morphed and now they're taking on Rita and her two minions, her two monsters, Snizzard and Minotaur. And so this back and forth comes between them. The fight sequences come in. Zach gets involved. You see Snizzard's power where he captures Tommy, he captures Jason, he captures Kimberly. turns them into like these mini figures, where you saw little glimpses of that in the trailer as well. So they're basically Rita's prize now, and so the only way that Zach and Billy escape is they go through the rad bug, which I thought looked very modern. Really like nice touch to that. I really like the design of it. Just great to see the rad bug once again, and even the license plate saying rad bug 2. Really nice touch. So they're driving away. Eventually they start flying off, so you've got Min, Zach and Billy now escaping Rita's attack here. And that's where you get to see now, like, you see Min's character, you see her character development here. She's wanting revenge. She wants to fight Rita. She wants to fight these minions, blaming Billy for the death of her mother. There's little parts of it throughout the reunion too, where she's like kicking this the martial arts stick thingy that she's doing, training herself, having this back and forth with Zach, back and forth with Billy. She wants revenge, and she wants to like kill Rita, even to the point where she tries to like take on a whole bunch of parties. But again, we'll get into that. But she's essentially blaming Billy for the death of her mother, because we basically come to find out that the reason how Robo Rita was revived was Alpha 8 and Billy were working in the command center trying to revive Zordon, because if you're not aware, Zordon sacrificed himself in the finale of the In-Space Power Rangers, and so they're trying to bring Zordon back. There's this energy that comes into the tube that Zordon was in, where basically this energy comes and takes over Alpha 8, and that essentially turns the energy that Rita left behind, turns Alpha 8 into Robo Rita, which I thought has been very well explained. I think they didn't overdo it. It wasn't too complicated. Very nice and simple, and it wasn't the actual Rita that was in the Mighty Morphin show. It's a robotic version of her, which I honestly like that explanation there. And we also get to see a nice touch. We see the exact same moon base as she had in the Mighty Morphin 1993 TV series there. You get to see the same moon base, same setup. I really like that touch there. And so then we bring back Rocky and we bring back Kat, the Red Ranger and the Pink Ranger. Now, in terms of my criticisms and my nitpick, I'll actually just get to that towards like the end of it here. But for me, it's like some of the dialogue that they had throughout like the reunion too, especially with Kat saying is Robo Rita back, as if like they fought her before, but there was no like little bits of that actually in the like the opening sequences they did that. So I don't know, maybe it's because of the 12-month period that they did try to like look for Robo Rita. Maybe that's why, and I just missed that upon first viewing. But just the dialogue was just a little bit like off for me at certain sequences there. But then you've got like Rocky and Kat, they get their power coins, they see that the city's being attacked because Rita needs Power Ranger energies to power up her little machine that she has. So she sends the two monsters to Angel Grove, to other cities, parties to other cities, to like lure out Power Rangers. So we see Rocky and Kat getting their power coins, they morph, they go and save people there. You see these little fight sequences in the trailer too, like them fighting the putties, fighting Snizzard, fighting Minotaur. We come to find out that Minotaur is actually using his little shield to track Power Ranger energy when they're morphed. So they're like rescuing these civilians. They try to escape. That's how they've come to find out that how he's tracking them. They demorph. They're like these fight sequences. I wish it was spread out a little bit more. I wish we had like a little more of these fight sequences, because even like with the series too, the fight sequences with the parties are spread out. You get to see each of them like fighting the parties, but like for a longer little period here. But this was just very quick and was straight to the point basically here. But they demorph, they managed to escape Minotaur and like Lizard. And we also see the reason why Aisha and Adam aren't there right now. They're 6 hours away on a spaceship. We actually get a little glimpse of like, we come to find out that Kat was actually married to Tommy, so they're in a relationship, they're parents, because they have like a little son as well. We get a glimpse of like what Zach's been up to since we found out that he was in Congress. We get to see what Kat's been up to, but they didn't really explain anybody else's character, like what they've been in this 30-year period, which I wish they could have like delved more deep into that. But basically it's just the four of them right now. Like they haven't got any other help anywhere else, and that's where they still see the putties attacking. They even come to see that the putties are attacking the juice bar, where that's where you see Ming coming to like try and fight the parties, and once again wanting to get revenge. You see this part of the sequence where she actually takes Trini's morpher and tries to morph, and I can't be the only one that did this as a kid too, where you have like one of the Power Ranger morphers, whether it's the Mighty Morphin, for me it was the SPD and the Ninja Storm, like you try to morph, nothing happens. So I know exactly what she's going through, and I know I'm not the only one there. But she can't morph, so she's trying to fight these parties. The parties are overwhelming her when Rocky and Zach come in to try and rescue her. And I really like, once again, the nice touch to the 1993 series. You've got Zach doing this little hip-hop, keto hip-hop, fighting hitting the putty is just reminiscing of like the seasons of Power Rangers there. So I really like that little sequence. So they rescue her, they take her back to the command center, and this is what I mean when it comes to like Walter Jones, Zack's character. His performance is there, him just having that talk with Ming, telling her about the seriousness of the situation, what it means to be a Power Ranger. I just loved his dialogue. I loved his performance there, showing what it means to be a Ranger, not going after revenge, trying to save the city, just having that talk with Ming. I really liked that. Was one of my favorite scenes, one of the most powerful scenes there. And so the Rangers devise a plan while Zack's having this talk. The Rangers, Rocky, Cat, Billy, devise this plan where they can take down these creatures because of a magnet. I thought that was slightly weak, because to be able to defeat them is just using a magnet. So like the creatures arrive, Minotaur, Snizzards arrive, get sucked into like the magnet in the dump site place. They're just literally stuck there on a magnet hanging. I just thought that was slightly weak. But then we get to see like what Rita's been up to in this time period here. Like she's captured a lot of Rangers, and you see like all these minifigures of like these Rangers from the past. I really liked all those Easter eggs here. So you've got Merrick from the Lunar Wolf Wild Force Ranger. You've got Ashley in the In Space Yellow Ranger. You've got the blue and the red Beast Power Rangers. You've got the red Dino Thunder Ranger. You've got the white Dino Thunder Ranger. The names are escaping me right now, but then you've also got to see the Lost Galaxy Rangers. She's captured the green, the blue, and the red Lost Galaxy Rangers. You also see the In Space Black Ranger there. You see there's one more where I can't quite figure out which Power Rangers it's from. It's like the gold one there. For some reason my mind's just escaping that for me. So if you know which one that is, please let me know down in the comment section below. But you see all these little mini action figures of these like Power Rangers there that I listed. The Rangers decide to go take the fight to Rita, go to the moon and actually just fight Rita. So Billy invents this little invisible thing where they can go and be invisible. They go to the moon base to take on Rita. Ming takes one of these, becomes invisible, escapes the command center, does her little like heroism there. She saves these this couple. She tries to fight these putties. She gets on Billy's car, the rad bug flies away there. She goes to the site of where these two monsters are hanging from a magnet. Rita arrives there and she tries to fight Rita using the clawing mantis, I believe it's called. I know I might have butchered that, but she's using the same technique as Trini did when she was like training in one of the episodes of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers season there, using that same technique. Obviously Rita overpowers her and captures her, takes her to the moon base. And so you've got the battle scene. You've got Rita with Snizzard and Minosaurus. You've got these Rangers, but they're human form trying to fight Rita. Rita's just overpowering them with ease. She goes and blasts Billy with the same shot that she blasted Billy in the opening sequences, only for Min to jump in the way, stopping the blast. And then you have this really nice touch, and this is what I was talking about earlier with Trini and what they did with that. So you see like Min's eyes, and you see inside her eye all these shots of like Trini in the Power Rangers season there. I really had like that little tribute to her with showing these sequences there. And so she gets that energy. She's finally able to morph, and you have that morphing sequences there. When it comes to the morphing sequence too, for me, I would have to say that I like the original morphing sequences more than this one. This one just felt a little too CGI-ish. It didn't look as natural when it comes to like them actually like yelling the Mastodon, Tyrannosaurus, those like sequences there. I just felt like it looked a little bit more off than normal for me. I don't know, maybe that's just my TV or maybe my vision there, because I watched it at midnight. Or you have all 5 Power Rangers now, so you've got the red, the blue, the black, the yellow, and the pink Ranger now. So they're having this battle sequences. They're fighting Robo Rita, they're fighting Snizzard, they're fighting Minosaurus. They discover what the plan is. So Rita's plan, and we saw it in the trailer too, is Rita's plan is planning on speaking to her older version, where she just comes out of this space dumpster, to basically work together to try and defeat the Rangers, wanting to erase 30 years of history there. So she's using these Power Rangers to power up the machine. So again, the fight sequences break out. She makes Snizzard grow, become a large creature. Billy and Ming go into the Megazord to try and fight this, and this for me is one of my biggest criticism I have for the actual reunion, was the fight sequences in the Megazord and Snizzard just looked so bad. The CGI really did not hold up in this sequence here. I wish they went for a more practical effect like they did in the shows. It did not look that great. It really looked bad, and it just took me out of it. I couldn't enjoy it as much. That's just like the biggest gripe I have with this whole reunion. But they're having this fight sequences there. Rocky, Cat, Zack are able to defeat Minosaurus, but sorry, forgot to mention as well, before Billy and Ming go into the Megazord, because she's distracted with making Snizzard grow, Billy is able to like stab Rita in the back, causing her thing to short circuit, her falling to the ground. So then, yeah, the Megazord sequences takes place. The others are able to defeat Minosaurus, and they're able to rejoin and take down Snizzard in the Megazord, all of them. While this is going on, Rita did survive and was continuing with her plan. You can see the opening sequences of the first episode of the Power Rangers Mighty Morphin, with young version of Rita trying to escape this space dumpster there. However, the Rangers are able to go back to the moon base. They take the Power Ranger minifigures there. Kat is able to shoot the arrow at the machine. Ming throws her 2 daggers onto Rita's arm, and Zack is finally able to shoot and just miniaturize blast Rita, finally defeating her. So they're basically able to save the planet. They're able to defeat Rita there, and that's when you get them just having this scene of like Aisha and Adam. After all the fighting took place, they finally arrive back on Earth. You get like a little glimpse of what happened with Billy's backstory here, like what happened with him, and like alien Rangers are looking to have Billy rejoin them. Billy wants to stay and continue his work on Earth for now before meeting back with them. Everybody basically says their goodbye and just goes on their separate way here. And then you've got Zack and Billy just talking to a young Min, telling her about the adventures of like that they had as Power Rangers there, sort of closing off everything, wrapping up everything nicely. And then that little ending sequences with an episode from the Power Rangers where all of them, like Jason, Billy, Zack, Tommy, Kimberly, and Trini just sitting there while Kimberly's singing, focusing in on Trini, focusing in on Tommy, I thought was a really, really nice touch. I got goosebumps just watching that sequences there, and then that final closing card of just having that picture of Trini and Tommy, and honestly, rest in peace to the both of them there. I really, really wish circumstances were different and like all of them were able to be part of this reunion there, but that was a really, really nice touch. Once again, like I mentioned, this was a huge love letter to Power Ranger fans. Everything about this, just you were smiling from ear to ear. There was so many great moments that you had, so many great reminiscences. Like even, for example, when the parties were attacking the city, you had this little picture of Bulk and Skull, seeing what they're up to. I wish they were also part of the reunion, but having that picture there to see what they're up to, just like little like nods here and there. Zack talking about Ernie's recipe and the last sequences there. Everything just wrapped up really nicely. Again, some of the dialogue wasn't that great. It should have been a little bit longer just to extend some of the scenes, because it just felt very quick and very rushed at times. And the CGI for the Megazord was, for me, the worst part. But overall, I really, really had a good time with this. I really enjoyed what they were going to do with the whole reunion. I was really looking forward to this, and honestly, they didn't disappoint me as much. So for me, this is one I highly, highly recommend if you're a huge Power Rangers fan. I had a fun time with it. It could have been slightly better, but overall, it was a very, very solid reunion. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section down below. What you thought about it. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you haven't already, once again, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future videos on the channel here. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for listening. This is YK Reviews. Peace.